and it is Lisa Allpress that joins us on the program right now. Good morning, Lisa. How are you in preparation for Wanganui Guineas Day?
Oh, hey, Jason. Yeah, no, it's a nice day here, and just sitting at the table doing a bit of form and about to head off to the races.
Just quickly reflecting, we've just seen a beautiful piece on you reflecting on last season. What are your goals for this season?
Gosh, I obviously just like to win, as everyone does, more Group 1s, but, just to try and stay injury-free and get another season underneath me and, just looking to keep riding those winners.
It's a big day for you today at your local track, just a short trip from where you are now to Wanganui, starting in the first with a 2-year-old race, and you pick up a mount for John O'Benner and Holly Wynyard, who's been a pretty impressive one. Look at the trials. What can you tell us about Piaggio?
He's a lovely little horse. He's not overly big. He's very much like his sire, Vesper, and Jono and Holly just often they just pinch themselves thinking they've got another one, that's so much like Vesper himself, so, and his personality as well. And he's a really nice horse. He tries very hard. I actually watched Holly ride him in a jump out at Levin before he went to the trials, and he was against the older horses, and he trialled up. Well, he ran very well, and so obviously when they ran me to ride him at the trials, I was pretty happy.
Track's rated a heavy 10 today, and he does look very professional early on. Quite extraordinary, really, what he did at the Foxton trials. But just talking quickly about what you expect from the track, no doubt you'll walk the surface when you get there. Often we see on a heavy track during the winter runners scouting wider and jockeys looking for better ground wider. But in a 2-year-old race number 1, is it going to be that you're going to be more likely to be happy on the rail on the inside there?
I think so. 2-year-olds that, with no experience, well, most of them have trialled in this race, but predominantly this meeting doesn't actually get to the outside fence. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays today because, it's not a June, July track, or it's not even the track that we had in August. So we have had a fair bit of rain, but we had a drying day yesterday, and by all accounts, I think the track has dried out a bit. I don't know whether they'll be getting to the outside fence today.
Race number 2 is the Wanganui Chronicle Maiden, and you've got a horse for Mr. Kevin Gray right at the top. He's a 5-year-old son of Zed, Go James, who placed recently at Waverley behind a Little Vague, and you get on Little Vague in race number 3. But reflecting on Go James, how happy were you with this performance?
I was really happy. He drew barrier 11 that day, and over the 1100, it's just not really that ideal when they're running on speed. And you see Leah gave a Little Vague a fantastic ride in the trail, and I've had to come from quite wide back and then sort of switched again to the inside. So I thought he went really well that day. He had trialled up very well at Foxton trials previously, so he's a really nice horse. He's obviously, he's had 3 starts now for 2 seconds, and the race that he failed, they realised he had a wind issue, so he had an operation to fix that all up and came back with that nice second last start. So he is a lovely horse. He's a big, strong boy, and we've always had a lot of time for him.
Do you think he'll be able to take quite a forward position and you'll be in a place to potentially boss that race?
Yeah, I think with the 1100 last start and the wide draw, we've probably just got it a little bit. We just sort of came out on the back foot a bit, but I think with a good draw today, and just another race under his belt, I think he'll just jump and put himself right there.
It's good race number 3, the Steve-O's Distributors. A couple of promising horses with wraps that are returning. Dratini, $4.60. The Entire by All Too Hard now with Bryce Newman. Ryan Elliott will ride. Technician right up the top is showing $10, and the early tote favourite with not much money in the pool, but he's hinted at very good things by winning a couple of races, and he's had a couple of placings as well. Chosen Peak is at $11. Miss Freelove was huge at Wanganui a couple of starts ago, won by 8 lengths with Daryl Bradley retaining the ride, and Viva Lily, who was fresh up. She's a daughter of All Too Hard, Warren Bolton. firing up his team with Craig Grills riding. But a Little Vague is our third favourite, with Dratini and Miss Freelove sharing favouritism at $4.80. She's a daughter of Guillotine. What are you hoping to see from her following what you chased last time?
Yeah, I thought Leah gave her a really lovely ride, so if we could do that again, that would certainly help. But she is, she won a maiden race last start and stepping up into the 65, and like you said, there is quite a few nice horses in there. I've always had a lot of time for number 6, Dratini, and I see it's paying quite good money today, drawn 2. Its trial a couple of weeks ago at Foxton was really good. It just ran away from them under a decent hold, and that horse has always had a few issues. So if they've got it on song today, I think it'll be very hard to beat. And even though, I'm very happy to be on A Little Vague, I think the ride that Leah gave the horse last start was just a peach. And like I said, if I could ride it that well today, then I think we could be in the money. But I think there's a couple there that will be very strong.
We could get those thoughts on Dratini, a very interesting horse across the card there at Whanganui. The O'Leary's Filly Stakes is race number 4 on the program. Flaunting $3.60. The market mover, She's a Lady, now into $3.30. Trifolium rock solid at $4.40. Miss Sweet Pea Pace Influence at $9. Sweet Clementine is at $7. Now Trifolium, she's had a couple of starts, Lisa, for 2 wins. She's looked good at the trials. How highly do you rate Trifolium?
Yeah, she's a little horse that she just keeps stepping up, and she hasn't done anything wrong. So she tries every time she goes out. It was a good win in the race down south last time before as a 2-year-old, her last start, and then she actually went shinsaw, so they had to bring her home and just gave her some time out. But she was entered for a race at Taupo when the races got abandoned, and quite a nice 3-year-old race there. So that would have been interesting to see how she went. But like I said, she tries hard every race. She's got the ace draw today. She runs on the speed, and she's such a precocious little thing. They come at her and she just keeps giving. So I'm really happy to be on her.
Did you notice any differences when you rode her in that recent trial compared to when she won at Riccarton? Were there many physical differences or mental differences that you noted?
No, she's still the same. She's feisty, and she's just wants to get out there and get going. And she's always she's 110% on the job, that filly.
And do you think she's got the capabilities to really push other favoured runners? Do you have any qualms that she's good enough to win the race?
Yeah, I think she is a really nice filly, but Flaunting won the Castletown on this track back in the winter, albeit it was a lot heavier track than what they're going to get today. But I know that they think a lot of that horse, and also Murray Baker, Andrew Forsman's horses are always very hard to beat. So it'll be interesting to see how she steps up against slightly better company today. But yeah, like I said, with that draw and the way she races, she'll be in it for a long way.
That's the feature race for the Fillies Trifolium, Lisa Allpress's ride. And race number 8, the feature race for the Colts and Geldings, is the HS Dyke Whanganui Guineas, where Saifar's $2.90 has trimmed up a bit, and there was some money announced for it yesterday. Checkers at $3.80. Cougar Dune has been best backed, however. That's $3.60 early tote, $4 on 5.95. Lisa, you pick up this ride after it won by 7 lengths on the track. When Madan Singh rode. Watching this, what did you make of the performance?
Yeah, I really like this horse. I actually was offered the ride at the trials and ended up having to ride something else, and watched Madan Singh ride him, and then obviously I tried to get back on for the first start, but they gave the ride back to Madan. So it's good that I've got this ride today, and obviously I think Jonathan Parks was supposed to ride him, but he couldn't get his weight back down for today. So I'm fortunate to get on him, and seeing him coming into favourite is always exciting and gives you a little bit more confidence.
I mean, the performance in itself, a wide margin winner. We noted Bubblegum win at New Plymouth during the week under Rosie Myers. Do you think he's a sort of a progressive type? Yeah,
of course, and he's only going to get better the more racing he has, the more experience he gets, the better I think he'll go. But also, last start was only seven runners in the field, and I wouldn't have said that it was the strongest race. It was also, excuse me, on a very heavy track. So he'll have to get over all of that today, and this will be a good test to see where he's at.
A couple of classy commodities from the north, but the central districts like defending their prize money, and so Cougar Dune, the best of those in the Wanganui. How important is it when you see a horse perform on a heavy track at Wanganui? How important is it, and how well does it bode for sort of returning there on a similar sort of surface and doing well?
Yeah, definitely. Horses for courses in Wanganui quite often prove that horses that have placed or won on the track will continue to do so in their careers. So, obviously it is important to get on those sort of horses. But, at the top of the book, you've got Sci-Fi is a very good horse and a good stakes winner last start. So, it's definitely a good field. You've got Lord Boozer on that killed them in his first start as a 2-year-old as well. The horse of Karen Nicholson's with Troy Harris on won well last start on a heavy track. So, there's a lot of form and a lot of good horses in this race today.
Going on your last season's strike rate, given you've got 8 rides today, you should be riding at least one winner. We won't attribute you a quarter of a winner, but that said, who's the best? Who do you like most and the most likely chance to have you saluting first at Wanganui today?
I think you'd have to go race 2, Go James, on his run last start over the 1100 with that wide barrier to get a nice draw today, 1200 metres. I'm sure he'll just jump and put himself in the race. I'd be very surprised if he didn't win. But around that, also, I really do like my 2-year-old. He's a real little runner, very professional, and was completely untested in that trial. So, it'll be good to see how he goes.